Continuing on the same lines, now we know many of the departments in India are corrupt. But again, I say that what is the corruption? See, we misrepresent facts, we give wrong information, and we file wrong documentation, and then in order to cover up those tracks, in order to cover up our weakness, in order to cover up the wrongdoings that many people have done, they try to approach the person to close the chapter. Now, the closing of the chapter takes place. It can in any other form, in every form, it can take place in the form of money, land, jewelry, whatever you may want to say, and that we call corruption. Now, there's a significant problem which we can look into. The government has addressed a lot of issues, and therefore, corruption is, they are attempting to stop the leak. We understand that it has been going on for such a long time that we do not know whether it is corruption at all. It has gone to that level that one does not understand whether it is corruption or not corruption. Suppose we go and pay some money to get a work done. We say, hey, poor guy, he needs that money, so let us give it to him, and then we get the work done. It can be any work. For example, a scavenger comes, he cleans the, he is duty bound to do the cleaning of the sewage outside. He's got equipment, he does all that work, and then he comes and asks us for, as we call every time during the monthly once, or Diwali especially, they all come forward for some funding. We give it to them. Now, is that bribing or is it corruption? No. It is a form of thanksgiving for the work which he has done. So, should we say that getting the work done is thanksgiving? Though it is a question for doing actually what the work should have been done earlier by the person. So, the very, very gray area in which, I do not know, I do not want to go ahead with that. The gray area is that when somebody does a work, performs it properly and does it very efficiently, and suppose we give him something in return for that services, according to me, it is not corruption, it is thanksgiving. Where these services should not be done, where that particular activity should not be executed by the other party, and where it is done, feeling, hey, it cannot be found for the next 25 years, let us do it, let us close the chapter. And then that is done at the behest of somebody else for some finance, some gain, some sort of gain, then we can call it corruption. So, it is a very, very dicey area into which, we are always looking into in the case of dealings with people. So, coming back to the subject, the government has taken very many effective steps to control and ease the method of doing business in India, and that is one way of is by reducing corruption. Corruption cannot be eliminated. Let us be very clear about it, that we are living in a fool's paradise if we think that corruption can be eliminated and will be eliminated. No, it will not be eliminated. It cannot be eliminated. We have to accept life and we have to continue with it. There will be elements of weakness. So, when we look at it, perceptibly, there has been a decrease in corruption in India. One of the effective methods is this faceless assessment. Yes, we are facing problems with the faceless assessment, but when we are still discussing the 1961 Act of Income Tax Act even today, why not we give a long rope to the government by giving the same at least 25 years extra, so that they will be able to ease out or iron the edges and give a better system of operation for everything. Let us give them that length of time. It is only, I would say, 8 years, maybe 8 years, since which we started all these programs. 8 years when compared to 60 years. So give them time. So let us give them at least 50% of the time. So let us give them another 25 years. So that we can, I'm sure that with technology and AI penetrating it, we'll be able to sort out this problem even earlier. Because at that time we had no technology, we are not invested in technology, but today we are investing in technology, and we have people who are willing to look at it very positively. At those days, people were very, they were not acceptable to the introduction of technology in any field, because they felt that they're looking at the figures in the front is what that matters, rather than a figure in a book or in a an electronic format. So I'm sure that with the new generation taking over, we will be able to sort out this issue. Let's give them some time. Continuing on the concept of corruption and how it has been, the attempt has been reduced, is if you look at the GST Act. I've spoken about this in length in about my videos, about more than 20, 30 videos before, 20 videos before, I'm sure about it. That is to say, the GST, as I told you, is an amalgam of 26 acts. So when the amalgam takes place, you are looking at an amalgam of different concepts, different types, different effectiveness, different types of implementation, different types of discussions which takes place, different types of commas, punctuation marks. All these have to be blended, and all these have to be looked into, and every state and every department which is affected has to be, the confidence level has to increase in order to accept the consolidation of the acts, because you are looking at 26 different acts acting with in different areas, and you are looking at 26 different acts interpreted differently in a different state. So you can imagine the amount of effort which has gone to implement this GST Act. Let us appreciate that first. No, other than looking at the part of corruption, and we'll come back to it later. But let us appreciate that fact at least, that a set of people have sat together, a set of the people from each state have sat together, discussed the infirmities, discussed the differences, brought together a structure, and it was implemented. Yes, there are still differences to be ironed out. People are still working at the rates which has to be given. They are still working out the period of time to which it will be working. They are still working at how much the amount to be given to the states and how much to be given to the central government. There are still discussions going on. It's a never-ending project, because sales tax, Tamil Nadu sales tax revenue was different. But today growth has doubled. When growth doubles, they would compare if I had put the old sales tax and what about the old VAT, if I had kept all those old acts together, how much would have been revenue? But because of this GST, how much have I lost revenue? Shouldn't I become revenue neutral? Yes, as states develop, as new industries come up, new concepts come up, and new delivery systems come up, there will be increase in business. And when increase in business takes place, the vision now comes out is, as I told you, each state will be wondering, hey, if I had continued the old system of VAT, sales tax, etc., entry tax, octroi, this, that, excise duty, and all types of VAT was existing, this is the amount of revenue I would have earned. Now, as per GST, I'm earning only so much, or I'm earning this much. The difference is there a difference? First, they'll work that out, and then they will look at whether there should be a change in the structure or the devolvement of funds to the states and to the central government. It will happen. But It is only because of the development. In view of the development of, overall development of the country, not significantly in a state of the country. Because everybody, just as you need two hands to clap, unless all the states join together to keep a country moving, it will not be successful. So let me continue in the next meeting.